Welcome back to another episode of Mind the Snap. Ryan here, joined as always by my partner in crime, Lee. And today, we've got a guest who brings serious Bills Mafia energy.
Absolutely. This guy represents one of the most passionate NFL fan bases on the planet. And he does it from the Great White North. We're talking snow, passion, heartbreak, a little bit of hope, and maybe a table or two. Today's special guest is no other than the Buffalo Bills International Fan of the Year, all the way from Canada, Darryl Russell.
Darryl, mate, welcome to the show. We are buzzing for this one.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited, really excited to join you.
Down the door. Big brother said, boy, this is the team. Since 1990, living the dream. Maple syrup dripping, the bite in hand. Poutine power rocking all across the land. Beavers building strong like the buffalo line. Snow falling heavy, but the feeling's fine. Oh, necklace hanging heavy round his chest. Thurman Thomas signature, the best of the best. Every touchdown, every hit, every thrill. His brother rides beside him still. Hey, hey, mind the snap. Hey, hey, turn it up and don't look back. Go Bills. Hear the mafia roar. Hear the mafia roar. Crash to a table and demand some more.
So Darryl, let's start from the beginning. For anyone who doesn't know your story, how did a Canadian lad like yourself become such a die-hard Bills fan?
So I would say I'm going to age myself here. So in the 80s, NFL football has always been popular in Canada, but not to the extreme it is today. So realistically, I think I was in grade 10 or 11. And I just remember, buddy of mine, Erwin Reed, I always say, was always started to talk football. My friend Dave Miller, who was an Eagles fan. And then I admit, I was like, well, I have watched a couple Super Bowls. I like that Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, but I didn't really know anything. But was my brother who then said, you know what? I've been watching now, and I'm telling you, they're building something in Buffalo. Now, in those days, it's not like you could stream games. You're really only being where I'm from, close to Western New York. You got to see Bills games every week. That's what you saw on TV. So obviously you start watching, and then my cousin Wayne became a fan. So you kind of just started to fall in love with the team because my brother and I was just started to watch, and then obviously we went to the 4 straight Super Bowls. And I just remember, man, we'd be sitting in a cafeteria in high school, and back then we would you'd collect money from everyone, and then me and another buddy, we would drive down, go to the will call booth, pay our $50, and boom, we were there. So that's probably where it started, was just my brother. I always give him the shout out because it was him that kind of brought me in to say, this is the team we're going to cheer for. And obviously now since 1990, as you can see, I buy behind you with all my stuff, die hard. So, yeah.
So what was your first game? What?
It was December 12th, 1992, Denver Broncos. And if you go on YouTube, you can watch the whole game. I just remember it was a reverse fleet flicker to Don Beebe. That's the greatest play. Yep. It was awesome. That was my first live game, and oh my God, it was, and like I said, if you've never been, even back then, and it was a little more crazier in the 90s. They have cleaned it up. But back then, you'd sneak in your drinks and people would be smoking in the stand. It was nutty. It was nutty. You definitely didn't go there to cheer for another team. it was wild, right? But you know, when you're that age, you kind of take it all in. It was awesome.
How about your first heartbreak?
Wide right, the Washington, and the 2 Dallas. I think personally, I don't see as like the first 2. I feel that we had the team we should have won. The 2 against Dallas, I can accept it because Minnesota, no offense, made the worst trade in NFL history and pretty much handed Dallas all those draft picks for Herschel Walker, and there was no free agency.
No.
They were just handed a super team, and I don't think anybody was going to beat them. Even though the second time we played them, we did play them better, but they were just that good. But I do feel we should have won the first 2, especially the Giants. I can't even grasp how we. I can't even think about it.
I'm
And then, of
feeling the
course-
pain in your voice there, Dal. I'm feeling it.
It's like, man, but it was different because there was no social media. You didn't have people throwing it in your face constantly, or I call the keyboard warriors. So you just loved them anyways. You didn't have to hear, because in today's world, if that happened, they would rip apart every player on the team would be torn to trash. But you just loved them. So you know what? You picked your spirits up, and right away come September, you're back cheering, and it's like you just kept going. But I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, it sucks to lose, but I would not trade in those things for the life of me. It was awesome to be a part of, to be able to be a fan of it and be a part of it. So.
Oh, I love that.
And you've got to get there as well.
And the memories, like me and my buddies, who we're all now like early 50s, even though I am 30. We have stories that we still share today, like parking lot tailgating stories, or stories about guys getting lost in the stands, or a few guys maybe having too many and getting kicked out. Like the stories that we have for a lifetime. Like that's what makes it special. And I like other sports, don't get me wrong. I like basketball, baseball, and I love hockey, don't get me wrong. But there's something about that football, because it's an all-day affair, that it's hard to explain. And even if you're not a fan, the stories and the memories that you create from going to these games, it's your last year lifetime. It's amazing.
Oh, I love that. I love it. And as we know, Darryl, like the Bills Mafia isn't as a fan base. It's a full-blown identity.
Yeah.
You know? When did you realise that you weren't just watching the Bills, you were living Bills Mafia?
So I would say, like, I became so being from Canada, I had no idea. Be honest, I was naive. I always thought, season tickets must be like through the roof. And then in 2011, I just thought, I'm going to just inquire just to see. And then I went, I could get, now back then, not that it's that far back, I started off, I was in what they called the 300 level, which is up high. I got 4 tickets for $1,200 US. And I'm thinking, this is gold. I could have been doing this forever. So I started off with 4 tickets, and then obviously I worked my way down to where, well, not now, but for the last 6 years, I was in the tunnel, 10 rows up. I'll have to send you videos. I get to see the players run out. But when you start going and you tailgate, and like I said, you meet what I call the cast of characters, and meeting all these people that you see, you're like, this is just, you get embraced. And then when I wear the suit, it's like game on, right? And you feel like a mini rock star. When I wear that suit, like you stop every 5 seconds for a photo, you feel like $1 million bucks. But it's just so, like, it's just such an amazing atmosphere. And they've gotten better, I will say, because I know horror stories when people would say, well, their fan bases can be rude. They have gotten a lot better. Like, we embrace everyone. I embrace anybody, whatever team they wear. You should go anywhere and cheer on your team. That's my philosophy. So.
I just look at how well Jason Kelsey was accepted.
Yeah. I mean, here we are. We're in a big-time game, which that football went wide right to, right past my ear, because that's where my seats are.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, we embrace that. Now, I won't lie. I remember we're walking around in a Taylor Swift's bus. Not me, but there were some fans that threw some snowballs. Oh, I didn't hear. It was just a couple snowballs.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got our queen. We got Haley. That's our queen.
She's our queen. I love it. I
That's
love
our
it.
queen. So.
So this section, we're going to look at the Canadian NFL scene now. So Canada now has a massive NFL following. What's the Bills fan base like where you're from?
Now that we have Josh Allen, I think you're seeing a lot of youth, now cheering. Whereas when I first had season tickets, so let's say someone like my son's age, who my son's 24, I'll be honest, like he'd be like, Dad, they stink, right? And I'd be like, son, I'm going to disown you. But so it was easy, right? Like you could see a lot of younger people probably were Patriots fans, but when you have success, now you're seeing younger and younger embrace the team. And when you have a beast like Josh Allen, who's larger than life, and his on and off the field, like he is a good person. I mean, not that I know him personally, but you see what he does off the field and how he carries himself, and his love for a city like Buffalo, which isn't like, it's not like you're going in Vegas. There's probably not a lot to do there, but that's what I think has made Buffalo become more and more popular in Canada, is that reason alone. It's just having Josh Allen. So
Yeah.
I think teams need people need not just a team to root for, don't they? They need a main character. It's
Yeah, definitely.
That's always a.
And we
someone-
didn't have any, like, I felt, and this is just my own opinion, it's not that, is when we failed to make the playoffs in 2004, when all we had to do was beat third string Steelers, I just felt like Ralph Wilson was, 85 at the time? He's thinking to himself, listen, I'm just going to make sure I put a product out. People are going to show up. And that's why we were irrelevant for so long. We didn't do a very good job of, like, say, people showed up anyways.
All right, let's get into the big moment. Being named the Bills International Fan of the Year. How did you find out? What was the moment like?
I cried like a baby. I won't lie. I'm an emotional guy, but so obviously with the new stadium coming, I was on the phone a week before because I had some questions, because I donate preseason tickets to cancer events. My best friend's wife, who passed away a year after my brother passed away, so I always donate preseason tickets, right?
Oh, wow.
But obviously, I'm like, I don't want to be a jerk, but I want to go to the first game ever held in that stadium, even though it's preseason.
Yeah.
So I called the ticket rep and I said, hey, is there going to be, like, are they really going to play the first game preseason? I honestly didn't think they would. He goes, oh no, there's plans. The first game will be a preseason game. And then they announced that they're going to have 2 preseason games in the new stadium. So it worked out. I could donate the tickets. But so he goes, by the way, I need to set up a Zoom with you next week. I thought it was to say, hey, we're giving out inside tours before the stadium opened, and if you and your crew want to come. So I'm in the Zoom, and I'm looking at the one guy, and I'm like, I go, you're Steve Christie. He goes, how do you know? I go, Bud, 90s, Steve, yeah, come on. And then a few other guys jumped on there, and so I was at work, right? So I'm in my office because I supervise, our students live there, so I supervise the lodging area where they live. And so I'm in my office, and then I start to tear up a bit because I get emotional thinking about it now. I just thought, I thought of my brother right away, because he was like me, a diehard fan, and I didn't grasp the concept of it. So at first, I was told I'm not allowed to say anything because they wanted me to wait till the NFL puts their post out.
Yeah.
I won't lie. I had to tell I didn't post it on social media, but I just was so overwhelmed. But it didn't really kick in until I went to this Raptors game. That's where they introduced me on center court. And then, you're sitting there, and I got to meet, like, people that I only read about, like the guy that started Bills Mafia, Pinto Ron. This is the guy that we all talk about, mustard and ketchup guy, and cooks on his car. Places that I went and visited when I was a young guy. And then like the lovely lady who's in charge of, Teresa's her name, she's in charge of the Water Buffalo Club, and she was NFL Bills Fan of the Year for 20. So I'm meeting these people that you only see about. And I admit, and Bill Squatch, you got to meet this guy. He wears a Sasquatch suit. Guy is probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. I follow him. I'll have to send you got to add him on Facebook. And I'm meeting these people, and I won't lie, they embraced me. And you feel like, oh, okay, I feel like I'm one of these super fans now.
Yeah.
Because I wear the suit. And so afterwards, you start to realize, like, you think of the millions and millions of people they could have chosen to be chosen. That's a big deal.
Cool.
I was truly honored. And and then I didn't know what to expect going to Pittsburgh. And I mean, even that first day meeting Roger Goodell, the only thing I wish I would have done, let's say the first night, is I wish I couldn't party with some of you UK guys can really party. Now, my one buddy would have probably fit in well, especially with the Miami guy and the Chiefs guy, because he's like one of these guys that can drink his beer. But after that, like I said, I got to meet all these awesome people, and who I hope they think the same as me, is I talk about them to everyone now. I'm like, I can go in the UK, and I met this guy, and I'm sorry if I forget names, but like the Commanders guy was such a great, the Jets guy, all these guys, and I'm thinking, oh my God, like I feel like I've got friends. In Brazil, I got, she was lovely. I have a soft spot for the Mexican crew. They were amazing.
Yeah,
my favorite draft speech, I don't know what it was the guy, he couldn't speak, the Houston Texan, when he got up there with that loud, that to me was an old school wrestling promo. I loved it. But meeting these people, that's what made my whole experience even better. Yeah, because now I can say, like you guys, I now get to say, I got some buddies in the UK, They have me on their podcast. I'm going to do another one down. Like, that to me is awesome.
Cool.
It is.
Awesome. There's nothing better. And taking the shots. Like I said, I think Wayne, is that his name, Wayne?
Yeah.
He likes to throw shots at me. But, I love, that's what being a fan is. I think you should have friendly banter. That's what makes
100%.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
But when we win,
we'll remind him now.
So I'm going to tell you the truth. I have a top 10 list. I plan to go live on Facebook every day, 10 days straight, to call out certain individuals who have tortured me for years. That's my plan. Wayne has now made the list.
Wayne's on that list.
But he's a good guy, but his shots, he's made my top 10 list. So, yeah, that's what honestly has made. And then, like I said, you're on that stage and you're seeing the sea of people. And I went for it. Maybe I wanted to make sure that I honored my brother, which I get emotional talking about it, but I wanted to honor him. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm going to effing do this, and I'm going to make it epic. And whether someone says, get off the stage and you're whatever, I don't care. It's a lifetime memory that I'll take with me for the rest of my life. And not everyone can say they've had that honor of doing that. Yeah. And that's what's been amazing. And like
you were
I said,
epic.
yeah. And the amount of messages that I received, like that's what made it even better. And then even people that work in the front office saying, oh my God, you did it, bro. We loved it. Yeah. That I'll have that for a lifetime. There's no bigger high than that. And like I said, if it all comes, crashing down and this is it, my 15th, I don't care. I've embraced every minute of it and loved every minute of it.
Yeah. Good man. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I encourage all the international fans, if they want to see their team, come see them in Buffalo. I promise I give the best tour. I'll make sure you get the whole experience. So, you're coming.
On there. On
You're
sold.
coming.
Yeah, I'm sold. So the Bills Mafia is famous for its atmosphere. The tailgates, the energy, the community. What do you think anything will change with you experiencing that next time you experience that in person, being the International Fan of the Year?
I know if I wear the suit, I mean, I'm sure I'll get asked. I mean, I get asked now, right? Because people see your face and I work. So it's not a part-time job. I volunteer at a golf course because I just want a free membership. So I do, right? I like to golf.
Like it?
So like I'm a starter, right? So I work Fridays and it's funny, like in the last 2 weeks, you get a guy, I'll go, okay, your tee time's at 1:30 and they'll go, hey man, are you the, because I always have something Bills on, right? And I go, yeah, that's me. And then, oh, can I get my picture? And you're like, all right, sure. But I'm sure when I wear the suit, but even prior to the International Fan, people, they like the suit. And I honestly don't wear it every game because you do get stopped a lot. I have to laugh. Like even when I was in Pittsburgh, the Patriots guys, Dennis, and I had so much fun hanging out with those guys. They were awesome. They kept going, the least you could do, dude, is charge, $2 a pitcher and get us some beer. You stop every 5 seconds. I'd have, yep, sure. And I mean, of course, like I said to you before, it's like, how do you not embrace it? I don't fine. It's my 5 seconds of whatever you want to call it. I'm going to embrace it. But I'm also a kind of guy, I'm all about the kids. I mean, that made my day to have these kids who, I don't know how they got into the draft pit, but their father, when I was in the draft circle and they bring them up to me and, oh, can I get my picture? Can my son wants to get his picture? That, yeah. And then I made sure the one kid got on TV. I wanted to make sure, but I'll tell you a quick story. So the one kid's there and I think it was his birthday. So we're like, yeah, we're going to make sure you get on TV, bud. Come on, get up front here. Then, I don't know what, we said something about the Patriots, and all of a sudden he goes, the Patriots. We all felt like, he's only like 7 years old. I was like, yeah!
Yeah, I did it.
That is all right. He said that, like that. But yeah, the only thing I will say that I think a lot of Bills fans are worried about with this new stadium is the rising cost. Now, I have season tickets, but unfortunately, I think right now there are people trying to oversell. I try to tell people, just wait it out. No one's getting, someone in the nosebleeds isn't paying $1,000 US for a seat. But unfortunately, I think that's what Bills fans were worried about because they put a licensing fee on and unfortunately it did probably outprice. But for the most part, I don't think you're not going to take away, because there's people don't even go inside the game. They're happy to stay out in the parking lot. They bring big TVs and sit there. I have buddies that will come and go, no, I don't need to go in. I'm going to go over to this guy's parking lot. It looks like he's got a giant screen. I'm just going to hang out here.
I like that. That's a good segue, Dallas. So from the tailgate and the energy and the whole atmosphere in Buffalo, you got any good stories from your tailgating times that you can share?
Oh, wow. Some of them aren't PG, like you see stuff. I always remember the 90s were nutty. So my brother passed. So he was a taller guy, but he had like a more leaner, innocent look. So he was our guy that you could stuff the beers. And I remember one time we'd get up there and we put 24 beers stuffed in them. And I always remember the security guy goes, stops them and goes, okay, this is the largest haul we've ever had. But they didn't kick us out. They just took our beer away. But there's that. Like I said, you meet a lot of characters. So believe it or not, that stuff you see, the table stuff, obviously because of liability, that's not really close to the stadium. That has to be on private lots.
Yeah.
Obviously, but that hammer lot, yeah, I mean, you got guys cooking out of filing cabinets. There's sections. See, you got the Water Buffalo Club. They have their spot where they then you got the hammer lot. That's where Pinto Ron, all these. Then you got this other lot. And that's where, like I said, I don't want to misquote the guy, but he's dressed like Boba Fett. And then, God rest his soul, Pancho Villa, his crew. I got to meet him before he passed away. One of the nicest guys. And you treat these guys, because they're super fans, and you're just excited to get your picture. Bill's Elvis, the chefs. So you meet all these characters, but I'm not going to do justice trying to, you have to be there. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I like live music. So sometimes once I've got a few in me, which I'll be honest with you, I never go over the top, because once the game starts, I don't actually drink, because I'm watching. I'm not going to miss. So I catch what I like to do. I catch my buzz, and then I cut myself off because I want to watch the game. But I always go in, I have to listen to the Bill Leavers. That's the name of the band. So I'm always dancing around with a couple older ladies. I always grab like two 70-year-olds and spin them around. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the people. And I try to do a good job too when I see, let's say, if we're playing against like the Lions, when we play them for the home opener. If I see a Lions fan, I like to have a chat. Hey, how do you think you guys are going to do?
Yeah.
And I try my best to make sure, because unfortunately every stadium has these guys that can be a little ignorant. And if I'm in the stands and I see that, I'm the first to give the guy one chance. Like last year, I got a guy kicked out at the Eagles game. He wouldn't stop. He was over the top rude. And I felt bad for this guy and his son, who were Eagles fans. And I asked the guy, I said, listen, they should come here and cheer on, leave them alone. They're not being ignorant. And then he was being very vulgar. And I said to the security guy, see you later. But like I said, you have to come. You know what I will do? I will try my best to send you videos, because I do post. I'll go live sometimes when I'm in the parking lot, and
do it.
I'm not going to do justice.
Yeah,
and like I said, there's a lot of nutty things that went on in the 90s. Like,
We'll do it on the
like I said,
social.
you would sneak in beer.
Yeah.
I mean, back then, you didn't know about your health, so you would.
Yeah.
I remember I'd be right there lighting up a Winston like it was nothing. I don't smoke now, but you didn't care, right? It's like, and like I said, these guys passed out. And I think to myself, how do you pay that kind of money to be this?
Yeah, you don't do.
I had buddies that would come, and I'd look at them, and they'd be out like a light, and then all of a sudden, the fourth quarter, they'd get their second. But I want to confess, I did leave the home opener last year.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I did it. I was so angry after Henry got the touchdown that I'm a little passionate. I take it personally. So I'm mad, and I'm marching up those stairs, and I'm cursing, going, this is. So now I'm walking back, and obviously I'm listening to it, and I hear fumble, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. I'm like, okay, no big deal. Then I hear it. I think a touchdown. And then I went. So now I'm in my buddy's truck, and I'm going to miss the greatest
Comeback.
Bills game next to the Houston game of all time. But I want to say me and my buddy Dan redeemed ourselves. We left at 1 a.m. from Brantford, drove straight to New Jersey the following week, and went to the Jets-Bills game, drove all the way back, stopped at the Friday the 13th camp, wanted to sneak in, and did that all in one day just to redeem ourselves, because we felt that we had to redeem our Bills card, because we needed to be ashamed of ourselves for leaving, and I'll never make that mistake again. Ever.
I think you redeemed, Darryl. You redeemed.
You know what? I have to confess. It's like a confession. I owned it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll never make that mistake again.
So for anyone listening, whether they're Bills fan, Canadian fans, or people dreaming of being International Fan of the Year, Darryl, what is your message to them?
For new fans, honestly, if you're going to choose a team, I only need to tell you Josh Allen. That's it. That's all you need to know. And just go on YouTube or any media platform and just type in Bills tailgates. And then you'll realize that we are football fans, not casual fans, football fans. That's all you need to say. It's all, honestly, you won't find a family. It's a family. We are a family. I can go anywhere on the planet, and if I have anything with this emblem on it, no matter where I am, no matter what age, you look at each other, nod, and you always say Bills, no matter where you go. And that's true. I'm not even making that up. anywhere. I can be in the mall. I could be at a and if anybody wears this emblem anywhere, you look at each other and you right away, it's go Bills, and you walk away. But Josh Allen, you won't find a better human being, and you won't find a guy that will keep you on the edge of your seat and give you highlight reels that'll last a lifetime. So that's why you cheer on the Bills.
Is why the Bills.
Exactly. Like I said, I mean, before when I first saw your podcast, what was it? The first thing I commented is, that's a jacket. Go Bills. And I made sure I wore mine. Mine's older, but
Like
I had
that.
to wear it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I put it on. Even though I'm sweating buckets in it right now. Like, I am going to, Matt, I got to wear my old school jacket for you.